we're going to move on to potentially everyone's favorite or least favorite section, balance. Where Alex either buffs your favorite weapon or destroys your dreams single-handedly and personally attacks you. First thing up, throwing axe. Pre-fire rate has increased to 0.5 seconds. What is pre-fire rate for those of us that might not know?
Right, so when you click on your weapon, let's say the axe, and you're going to throw it, it was at, let's say, 0.1 before, so you'd hit it and it would pretty much fly right out. So now we've increased it so that before the weapon actually leaves your character, there's a little bit more of a buildup. You have a couple more animation frames, you know.
Gotcha.
So it's not so spammy.
Gotcha.
To offset that, I've increased the damage amongst epic and legendary, and I've made the projectile speed a little faster, so it's easier to make a hit, right? It's not, you definitely have to lob it still, but you're going to have to... well,
I mean, naturally, you're taking a little bit more time to yeet that bad boy out there. But once it gets out there, it's going to be more dangerous.
Exactly. So I'm thinking that'll be, hopefully people, you know, I felt like it was a little spammy before that throwing axe. You could just really chuck it out there all the time. So we'll see how this feels in the wild.
Awesome. That's going to do it for the throwing axe. The gatekeeper. Ammo decreased from 500 to 300. I assume that was just copious for you?
Yeah, you know, the gatekeeper is an interesting one. It's this really cool weapon, and it's kind of situational. You don't really know when to use it, so I thought,
it hasn't found its place.
It has not
maybe
found its
place. Maybe college will be, you know,
it could take a year. Maybe it might want to take a leap year or something. It might want to take some time off.
Oh man!
So what we're gonna do is we brought the ammo down. I've increased the damage output of the gatekeeper, but I've lowered the range, so you actually want to be even closer. I want it to be real deadly up close, but you're not going to be able to hit people from that far away.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Yep.
It will be very, very deadly up close. Make sure you're playing your ranges accordingly, folks. Barricade, the next thing, seeing an adjustment. Cooldown decreased from 25 seconds to 20 seconds, as well as the persist time decreased to match 6 seconds down to 4, and the health reduction from 5,000 to 2,500. I assume that's all at the common tier?
This is all, so the barricade is only going to be found out of those legendary chests.
Oh, okay.
Right? So it's like, we only have one barricade in the game at the moment.
Gotcha.
So it's like, what was happening before is you'd see players like, I've got a barricade, no matter what my class, I'm just going to throw it out there. You can shoot through it, but people can't shoot you, right? So it's extremely powerful. I want players to be able to throw it out a little more, but I'm also going to make it so that it can be destroyed now. Because at 5,000 damage, it was going to take a team to kind of bring that thing down.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage to do in 6 seconds.
It's a lot of damage to do in 6 seconds. So now, you know, 4 seconds is still a long time, but I think you'll actually be able to destroy this shield now if you really want to, or this barricade. So I just wanted to have a little more, you know, a little more strategic thought when you're placing some of this.
Thinking is good. Use your brains, kids. Ice block, next up on the docket, can no longer be canceled, and the cooldowns are increased across all rarities.
Yeah, this one's a general one, and actually Andy kind of, he pushed this one through with the idea of the ice block and ghost walk, which is next. Like, they will not be canceled anymore because we felt like that was contributing to some of these problems where people were swapping back and forth very easily and always being in an invulnerable state.
Yeah, the main thing is when a player can't reactivate it to cancel it, our thought is it gives the other people an idea of a counterplay. It's like, all right, they're going to be in here for X seconds. Let me get ready, as opposed to where the other person who was using it had these two abilities that they had complete agency to end at any time and then kind of just destroy the other opponent because the other opponent doesn't know what's happening.
Right.
So we'll take a look at this and see how it works in the wild. If we feel like it was a bit too hard, we'll adjust it again. But that's our general idea of why we went that way.
Yep.
Okay. Ghost Walk, seeing the exact same adjustments. I assume the exact same reasonings?
Yes, same thing.
Awesome. We'll move on then to Soul Gust. The damage has been increased across all rarities to 325, 450, 575, and 700.
Yeah, that was one of those things. The mage sometimes doesn't, you know, she doesn't always get the love that the players want. So I thought, okay, we just gave her that Soul Gust a few patches ago. Let's just, until we do some other things, let's just boost the damage on that.
These new school kids, huh? They don't remember the time of the 3-second cooldown fireball that was the size of 16 school buses roped together with Jack Sparrow's back hair that would hit you for 1,000 damage.
You know, maybe we'll bring that back.
Hey, she's had her time in the sun. Do not get it twisted, mage mains, all right?
Exactly.
The feedback loop talent is the next thing to be adjusted. The effect reduction, or the effect of this talent, has been reduced from 5-second duration to a 3-second duration, which we can now see in the buff bar.
We can now see it in the buff bar. This is one of those simple things. It was just a little too aggressive at 5 seconds. It's a pretty simple change. we'll see how players feel about it mixed with the changes to Ice Walk and Ghost Walk. We'll see how this actually plays in the wild, but it really was meant to not have players be so spammy with some of these abilities.
Okay. Up next is the Concussed talent.
Yes.
So Concussion Grenade will now do self-knockback with the appropriate talent, but it will also do some self-damage.
Yes. So there was a time when, you would throw out your Conk Bomb and it would knock you back. They took it away for a while. We're bringing it back for those assassin mains with the caveat, you're going to do a little self-damage. So you need to, you need to use it appropriately, but people want to knock themselves in the air.
You want that extra mobility.
You want to stun on
pay
people.
The iron price.
Exactly.
For said mobility. That's cool, though. That's somewhat of a relic of the past, but now you got to take that damage for it. Very, very cool stuff. We'll move on now to our runes. Whole bunch of adjustments to the runes coming. So, Chicken Revive rune has been disabled.
Yeah, so this is to go along with the chicken combat. This is one of those things where I want players to experience the full timer of the chicken, right? So I thought, maybe we'll bring it back, but it's one of those things where it was probably the best chicken rune. It was the one, a lot of people looked at chicken runes and they're like, I don't want to pick this up, any of them, but that was the one that people really liked, and I thought, I want players to experience the full chicken.
I'm pretty sure you guys nerfed it, but there was a time where it was like you get this rune plus a certain talent and you're getting back up very, very quickly.
Seconds.
Gotcha, yeah, something like that.
A little too much.
Those are gone now. CC Reduction rune has been decreased from 98% to 75%.
Weird that you were
So virtual CC immunity is now slightly reduced.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different era in Realm, I guess, but I like that take.
This is like, it's not even enough to say you would trip with 98% CC. It's like when you're in the hallway, you're wearing flip-flops and somebody like steps on the flip-flop as you're lifting that foot. It's like a small little like just mistiming of your step at 98%. I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I looked at 98%. I'm like, why wasn't it 100? We should have just gone that route. And if it's not 100, then let's bring it down to something a little more reasonable.
CC immune the whole time. Oh man, that is the opposite of a target on your back there.
Yeah.
The chicken health rune has increased from 600 to 1,000.
Right. So another one, right?
Thick boys.
We want those thick chickens out there. What do the kids say? Dummy thick?
Dummy thick.
I think that we want it to
Hella
be...
protein.
Yes. I want it to be a little more, again, if you pick these chicken runes up, you're going to be...
Yeah.
You're just going to be a little harder to kill.
Gotcha. So chicken speed rune, the next on the docket.
Yep.
Decreased from 50% to 25%.
Yeah, with all of the additions to the double jump and the charge, that's going to give you a nice little boost. The chicken speed could have been a little aggressive, and it would have made that chicken very hard to kill. So I thought, let's make them a little slower if you want to go for that rune. And again, these are runes, right? So you don't have to pick them up.
Awesome. Movement cooldown rune has been decreased from 35% to 25%.
Yeah, the movement cooldown rune, and we'll see in the ability cooldown rune, the same thing. 35% would just lead to some of these really fast cooldowns and some difficult timing for design specifically, where it's kind of hard to tune on our end when you're picking up a 35% reduction. 25% is a little more manageable, and it's easier to balance around.
That is definitely part of it. And that's what that's when you give players like these big whopping, bonuses out there in the wild, that's when you run into those like Ghost Walk, Ice Block, Swap, permanent immunity type of stuff. Which is fun in the early stages of a game, but it's obviously something you got to move away from at some point. We have added a chicken 1-up.
Yeah, so this is just going to be a straight rune that gives you one more chicken life, right? So if you have 3 chicken lives, you find it, you'll have 4. If you have 1 chicken life, you'll have 2. So it's just give yourself another chance.
Cool. Awesome. A couple of nerfs to the elemental legendary affixes. Frost element slow has been reduced, sliced in half. Its head has been kicked off 50% down to 25%.
Yeah, this is one of those ones with the heirloom rifle specifically, and some of those more aggressive shots with Frost. It would just have people almost in a permanent slow. These are just going more in line with, let's bring it down, let's see how it performs, let's see what people think. I think it'll be a little more equitable, it's a little more fair, and then we can adjust from there again.
Especially, I mean, like with the reliability of a hit scan weapon, you know what I mean? Cutting the movement speed in half after you've already hit a shot. You've already done it. You're good enough. Now let's make it that much easier for you. So Fire Element has seen a reduction as well, decreased from 100 to 75 over the lifetime of the shot.
Right, so each tick of those fire element damages would do 100 over it, right? So with those shredder shots, some of those, it was just super aggressive. So we've just taken 25 off the top, and we'll see how that feels, just to make it a little more you know, if we do a more substantial element change in the future, that we can readdress that. But for now, I wanted to find ways to make them not so aggressive for those highly skilled players to just dunk on people all of the time. You want to dunk 90%, not 99.
The first time I got my flame shredder, and it was just like, before we had combined text, thank you, Andy, just number puke all over the place. I was just like, whoa, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing a lot. I don't really know exactly, but we'll see how it goes. Up next, chicken jump height increased by roughly 20%.
Yeah, that was one of those things. I really wanted chickens with the double jump to get into those windows. So, you know, you're at one of those buildings in Lumberfall and you see the window up there. I want you to be able from the ground floor, double jump, get in there. You know, just a little escape.
Have you ever seen the movie Chicken Run?
Oh, yeah. That's what we're going for. That was the inspiration. We watched it at the office.
No further comment. I'm just going to leave that one where it is. Horse dismount damage threshold has been increased from 100 to 350.
Yeah, this is one of those, again, a nice, simple quality of life change I think that players will enjoy. Now you're not just going to get pinged with a pistol from a while away and fall off. You'll need to do a little bit more damage to get someone dismounted, but not a whole lot.
Awesome. That does it for the balance section adjustments, guys. Thank you for sticking through us. I hope you all got what you wanted. If not, hold your breath till next time. Bug fixes. That's up next, gentlemen and ladies out there of the realm. Andy, fixed an issue with bouncing projectiles that could lead to a server crash in certain situations.
Yeah, it was related to the Skull Chaos. I did some work on that, and I noticed that once the patch went live, we were seeing issues with
Skull
instances
Chaos
just
crashed
dropping.
The server.
Yeah.
That sounds intended.
It got into like a really weird scenario where it would like just bounce indefinitely in a really small space.
Gotcha.
It would just kind of cause it to crash eventually. And so yeah, I did some research, figured out that was causing it, and fixed that. So now we shouldn't see any instances dropping anymore. Yeah, it should be better.
Fix some windows in Sentinel Hold that could not be vaulted. Pretty straightforward there.
Yeah.
Any further comments?
I mean, that's
from
more
you,
of
Mr.
a
President?
Alex thing in that case.
Yeah, I think I just added some volumes, and we made it. We
made it, boys.
We made it.
Fix some environmental issues, including some instances of floating grass or getting stuck on geometry.
Again, it's something where I get to go through and just
doing God's work.
I'm doing the cleanup. You know, sometimes it's janitor work, sometimes it's design work. I like it. I do it all in a day.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Fix an issue where the high dive skydive floaty would get stuck on a mount's head. Now, what does that mean exactly? The high dive skydive floaty.
Yeah, Josh.
So the high dive, skydive, you have sort of like, the pool floaty on.
Yeah.
And when you hit the ground, it would be fine. But then when you mount it up with some mounts, like the floaty ring that would be around you would just get stuck in like your horse's head. It would just be sticking out.
I think it was specifically the cat mount.
Yeah.
Horses aren't great swimmers. Cats, I'm sure they would be glad to have that floaty personally, but do your thing. Do your thing. Fix an issue where the legendary proximity trap was dealing 600 instead of 400 damage.
Yeah, I think that was just a DB cleanup. It was kind of a relic issue, something that had been around there for a while, and we just wanted it to be in line with what the text actually said.
Awesome. Cleaned up some small animation issues with certain emotes. These include tuckered out, salute, and come on, and bop it.
Yeah, I'm sure our animation team, I think they were going through and we're just doing these quality of life passes on some of these
very good
older issues. Yeah.
Awesome. Fixed a bug where quest bars weren't showing any progress or completion status in the lobby scene.
Yeah, that was just tech cleanup.
Very good.
Nothing too crazy.
Onward and upward. Hell yeah, guys. All right, our next...